Welcome to the Transparent FX Academy. My name is Nick and I'm a top podder on TradingView. And as a top podder, today I'm going to show you exactly how you can become a profitable trader by exploiting multi-time frame technical analysis and order flow. Now let's not waste any more time. Let's go straight in the charts to find some good trading opportunities. Okay, so it is definitely time for an update on the situation that currently we have on GBP USD. That is one of the most traded pairs in the market. We spoke about it quite a few times in the past, but now the market has just provided the move to the upside that we wanted to see hit our upside target. So nice take profit banked on it from our previous analysis. And it is now time to speak about the next opportunity that this pair can create. So as usual, I will keep the analysis as educational as possible. First, we will be speaking about the technical side of the market. We will then go and see what we have from an order flow perspective. So commitment of traders, which is what hedge funds are currently doing in the market. And if you're able to read how the positioning of the biggest banks and institutions is shifting in time, you obviously have an advantage over your competition in the market to be looking for the best opportunities for obviously be capitalizing on the moves in the market. So without further ado, let's get straight into the analysis. And as usual, I will keep it as educational as possible. Now let's start from the monthly time frame. Now on the monthly, what do we have? Now from a monthly perspective, we have a market which has just provided this W formation, completed it at the neckline, and started the continuation to the upside. In fact, when you have a W formation, what you expect is first to see the market complete the pattern at the neckline, which is an area of previous monthly resistance, which is now support in this case, since the W formation is on the monthly time frame. But in general, okay, when you have a W, you expect the market to first complete the pattern at the neckline and then reject the neckline to the upside, because the neckline itself is an area of previous resistance, which is now turned support. And in fact, you expect the market to reject it to the upside. And that is in fact exactly what the market is doing here from a monthly perspective. We have the market which has provided the W formation, tested the neckline, so completing the pattern to the downside. And then obviously the market has started this move to the upside, rejecting that zone. And generally speaking, once you have an impulse, if you want to measure the correction, what you have to do is take your Fibonacci from the low to the high of the impulse. And if we do this on GBP USD on the monthly time frame, what we can see. Now let's take our Fibonacci from the low to the high of the impulse. And what we can see is that the market has first tested the 50% of the Fibonacci taken on this monthly impulse, and then the 0.32. So basically moving step by step. And that is exactly as well what you expect the market to do before starting the continuation to the upside after an impulse and a correction. You expect the market to hit the Fibonacci levels one by one before starting the continuation to the upside, which is exactly what the market is currently doing. So on the monthly, everything is clear. The last thing that we have to speak about from a monthly perspective is that all this zone here, okay, all the area that the market is currently testing is a strong supply area from a monthly perspective. In fact, this zone was acting as a very strong supply and resistance here. Again, supply here preceding all this drop to the downside. And again, supply here at the previous high, which is exactly the zone that currently we are testing. So we can't forget that at the moment we are testing strong monthly supply, from which most of the times the market does create a rejection to the downside. So what we can expect is a reaction to the area that the market can create by giving us a nice move to the downside. So price action at the moment also on the monthly is very, very clear. Let's go down on the weekly and see what we have. Now on the weekly, we can see that the structure is quite clear. We have a market which has created a move to the downside, followed by a retracement, continuation to the downside, and break above this resistance. Now, once the market had printed this high was resistance. And as the market broke above this high, the market clearly broke above an area of previous weekly, in this case, resistance, which after it was broken to the upside was turned support. And the market tested this support here and created the rejection to the upside, which, if you remember, is exactly what we wanted to see. We wanted to see the market create this move to the upside. And not only we see this, we can also see that currently we're testing extremely strong weekly supply. Why we're testing weekly supply? Because this wick here is exactly the zone from which all this move to the downside started. So the supply that you see here, the wick that you see here, is extremely strong supply, and the market is currently inside of it, and it has already started to reject this area to the downside. So also on the weekly, we can clearly see that this area is extremely strong resistance. And if you look at it also in the past, we can see that this was actually a historical structure area, historical supply zone for this market. Also from here, the market started all this move to the downside. Again, from here, the move to the downside. And currently, we expect at least a reaction to the zone for a move away from it. So at the moment, price action is extremely clear also on the weekly. Let's go down on the daily and see what we have. Now, from a daily perspective, price action is quite clear. Now, we had spoken about GBP USD quite a few times in the past. We spoke about GBP USD after the market had provided this M formation. I made a full breakdown explaining all the reasons for which from here we first wanted to see a move to the upside and then a continuation to the downside for the creation of a lower low, and that is exactly what the market did. Then we had the creation of this W formation, and I made a full breakdown explaining all the reasons for which from here first we wanted to see a retracement and then a continuation higher, and again, that is exactly what the market did. Then we had the creation of this overextended W formation, and I made a full breakdown explaining all the reasons for which from here we wanted to see a move to the downside to complete the pattern at this previous resistance, which at that point is sort of support, and the market completed the pattern and even broke below the area with this very strong impulse. And after this very strong impulse, I made a full breakdown when the market was here, explaining why from here we wanted to see a retracement exactly to this supply before the continuation to the downside. Then we wanted to see the creation of this inverted head and shoulders, and that is exactly what the market did. And I spoke about GBP USD after this impulse and correction. And I wanted to see from here the market create the continuation to the upside if we would have seen a shift of structure from a 4-hour perspective. However, the market never shifted structure. On the 4 hours, everything remained bearish and the market clearly broke all the structure to the downside. So impossible to be looking for any kind of longs. And then I spoke about the GBP USD the last 2 times. The first one, after the market had provided this W formation, I explained why we wanted to see a correction to this neckline before the continuation to the upside, and that is exactly what the market did. And then after this correction, from here, we wanted to see this move to the upside, and that is exactly what the market has done. And obviously, we capitalized on this move to the upside with students, and we just had our take profit hit, which you have probably already knew about it from the previous analysis on GBP USD. And by the way, I will link all this previous analysis below. So you will find everything linked below. You can go and check it out for further reference and more free education. You find all the links below. Just a quick reminder, make sure you comment below and you let me know which pairs or topics you would like me to cover or analyze in the next videos. But at the moment, what do we have and how we can be looking for the next capitalizing opportunity for GBP USD? Now, at the moment, as I was saying, on the monthly and weekly, we are inside of a very strong supply area. We have already identified that all this zone here is extremely strong supply on the monthly and weekly, from which we expect the move to the downside. But on the daily, what kind of price action do we currently have? Now, on the daily, in creating this continuation to the upside that we wanted to see from the first place, the market has also provided a bearish pattern, which is this overextended W formation. Now, after an overextended W formation, what you want to see is the market create a move to the downside. Specifically, you would like to see the market complete the pattern at the neckline, aka the previous resistance, which is now turned support, as we have already explained on the monthly time frame. So we would like to see from here the market create the move to the downside, rejecting the supply. So how we will be approaching this kind of situation with students? Now, before I show you this, let's first go and give a quick check at what we have from a COT perspective. So commitment of traders, which is what hedge funds are currently doing in the market. Now, on the pound, what we can see. Now, keep in mind that if you check the pound, what you're actually checking is already GBP USD. Why you are already checking GBP USD if you're only checking the pound? Because all currencies on the spot are traded against the USD. So if you check the data for the GBP, you're actually already checking GBP USD. And what we can see is that net positions have been greatly decreasing lately. We went from having 12.7k net positions all the way down to having minus 19k net positions. So we went from having a positive net positioning with more longs than shorts from an institutional perspective on the pound. So with a 46.5k long positions and 33.8k shorts, to a situation where currently we have the opposite. So we have more shorts than longs with 47.2k shorts and 27.4k longs. So more shorts than longs. So longs have increased during the move to the upside and longs have been decreased massively. So there has been some shifting to the negative side in approaching this supply, from which we can expect the market to give us a nice move to the downside because institutions started shifting their positioning to the negative side. So how we will be approaching this situation with students? As usual, we will be reactive and not predictive. The monthly, weekly, and daily time frame combined with the COT data are the best time frames for the direction of the market. But the best time frame for confirmations and entries is the 4 hours. And on the 4 hours, what we will be doing with students is monitoring price action on the 4-hour time frame during this move to the upside. Now, even though we had this move to the downside, this is not a shift of structure, shift of environment. Everything is still bullish. The market has a lot of bullish momentum, so it can easily continue to the upside. So the market is not ready for a short yet. And that is perfect because the more the market will continue to the upside, the better it will be, because when the move to the downside will start, we will have a better risk to reward and better probabilities for the move to the downside. So during this move to the upside, what we will be doing with students is monitoring price action from a 4-hour perspective. And we will be waiting with students for the market to shift from a 4-hour bullish market as we have right now to a 4-hour bearish market. And as soon as the market will shift from a 4-hour bullish to a 4-hour bearish market, at that point we will add GBP USD to our watch list. And as soon as the market will provide to us one of our valid entries with students, we will be taking a nice short with a very good risk to reward and very good probabilities at that point for the move to the downside and completion at least of the overextended W formation, but possibly for a drop way lower to the weekly structure. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash that like button and comment below. It really does support the creation of more free analysis and education on all my platforms. Also, make sure you go and check out the mentorship program. You'll find the link in the description. It's a very complete program. You first learn all the rules of my rule-based strategies, and then you trade them live with me. Each and every day you get a new daily market breakdown showing you exactly how to apply the strategies with entries, stops, and take profits, as well as having me answering all your questions personally every single day. So I really suggest that you go and check it out. The link is in the description, and I will see you in the next video.